Hey and welcome. You're with the Self Love Sisters. I am Lisa and
I'm Kelly,
my sister. And today we want to talk to you about our mission, and one of our passions and missions is to educate people about Bitcoin, because we do see this as the new evolution of money, as well as being a transfer of wealth, which is talked about for a long time. It's been, the one world government, the one world currency. I read an article, or I saw an article the other day that was written in 1986, and there was a image that went along with it about being a new currency coming, and it was actually a big eagle with a gold coin around its neck, which looks a lot like a Bitcoin. And that was in 1986.
Hey Richard, thanks for jumping on.
So we're going to start at the beginning, and the beginning for Bitcoin is the white paper that was written in 2008. So Kelly's going to talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, as Lisa mentioned, the white paper was released in 2008. Satoshi Nakamoto is credited with being the author of the white paper. Now, we don't know if Satoshi Nakamoto is a person or a male or a female or a group of people. When we look at the white paper, we see the reference to the word we rather than I. So there is uncertainty as to who Satoshi Nakamoto is. But the Bitcoin white paper was released in 2008, and what the white paper talks about is a new peer-to-peer currency. And it was developed, hi Rosie, it was developed as a way to transact peer-to-peer without the need for a financial institution. Hi Casey. So the white paper talks about the technical details of how the system works, goes into the formulas, the reasons, and what else was there in there? There was the mathematics behind it, talking about why we need a system like this, and also the fact that with a trustless system and we don't need financial institutions, and it came at a time when there was an all-time low level of trust with governments and banking institutions, because it was released just after the global financial crisis, and that came about because of the unsustainable loans. It came on the back of corporate corruption, insider trading, all sorts of things like that. So the timing was right. And what we've been seeing is a massive amount of adoption over the last 9 years. Although it's been slow, it has been steady. And in the last 12 months, we've seen a greater adoption because Bitcoin is becoming more spendable. But back to the white paper, it talks about transacting. What was the other key things?
The transaction, well, basically about the privacy, about being peer-to-peer, and having, as you mentioned, the trustless network. It goes into detail because it is a white paper, and it goes into details about the nodes and having to what is it called? Okay,
I know where you're going with this. It's really about a decentralized system. So when we're looking at our banks, you've got the single system. The bank has their own database, but if that database is hacked or corrupted, then that database is fallible. With a decentralized system, what we have is individual nodes across the globe working independently on verifying transactions. So if all the nodes bar one were to fail, we only need one node for the Bitcoin system to be up and running once again. So that is revolutionary. We're seeing this kind of technology, the blockchain technology, is disrupting all sorts of industries. Banking and payment systems, certainly. We've heard lots of uptake from the banking and government systems, although although what we hear in the media is that they're governments are anti-cryptocurrency, the reality is that what they're trying to do is catch up with the technology and introduce regulations so that they can do it in a way that is suitable for them, rather than
for our benefit.
Yeah.
But we're one up on them, so that's a good starting point for the everyday person. Yeah. And I think so we're going to leave the link to the white paper in the comments below, and if you're starting out in Bitcoin, it is very important to read the paper, because even if you go on YouTube and someone's reading it for you, you really want your own interpretation of it, because there are a lot of different interpretations. Even though they're the same thing, it's kind of like the Bible. Everybody interprets things differently, and they're reading the same words. So it's very important for you to do that research for yourself, because with the Bitcoin and the ecosystem that it's creating, it is about taking responsibility for yourself, for your family, and becoming your own bank. And when it comes to money, that is a huge responsibility put on you, and it is time for all of us, especially women, to step up and be able to take control of that side of things in our life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's a good place to wrap up. Absolutely, I agree with Lise. It is time for us to step up and take responsibility for our finances. With the adoption of Bitcoin and blockchain technology, absolutely it is your responsibility to get yourself educated, because we believe, well, you don't have to, obviously, but we believe that this is the new evolution of money. As Lise said at the introduction, we're seeing the change of, what did you actually say?
I have to go back and rewatch.
But an evolution of money, a transfer of wealth, and the one world currency, the one world government, although, you know, that's
a little bit conspiracy theory, but that type of conspiracy theory has been around for such a long time, and it does seem to be playing out. Yeah. And we're all for that. We're 100% on board with that, because we want to live in a world where we are in control. Yeah.
And so that's something that we might touch on a little bit later in another one of our lives, is sovereignty, being your own sovereign being and taking control of your life, and just how some of these other conspiracies are actually playing out and coming to fruition. So we look forward to chatting with you again soon, and until then, from us it is
Ka kite anō.